Hey, let's try a little thought experiment together. We're going to build a model of an AI's brain. Why? Well, we want to figure out how it actually thinks, and more importantly, how it remembers things. So let's get started.
You've probably had this happen, right? You're in a chat and the AI brings up something you mentioned 5 minutes ago, or maybe even from a conversation you had yesterday. How on earth does it do that? It's not magic, I promise. It's just a really clever system. And that's the mystery we're going to solve today.
To make this super simple, let's use an analogy we all get, a school backpack. Just imagine that the AI's entire memory system is packed right inside one of these. It's how it carries everything it needs to have a smart conversation with you. So let's go ahead and open it up.
Okay, we're unzipping the backpack. Let's take a look at what's inside. You know how you have different notebooks and folders for different classes? Well, an AI does the same thing. It has different kinds of memory for different jobs.
First thing we see is the short-term memory. The best way to think about this is like a sticky note on the cover of your notebook. The AI uses this little scratch pad to keep track of the conversation you're having right now, your questions, its answers, the whole back and forth. But what happens when the chat ends? Poof. Just like a sticky note after class, that info gets tossed. It's completely temporary. All right, next up is the long-term memory. Now, this isn't a sticky note. This is your permanent file folder. This is where the AI stores the important stuff it needs to remember from one conversation to the next. You know, things like your name, your preferences, maybe key facts from an old project. This is the reason it can greet you by name or remember what you were working on last week. And inside that file folder, there's a really special section we can call episodic memory. Think of this like your project diary. It doesn't just store general facts, it records the specific episodes of your chats. It remembers the sequence of events like, okay, last Tuesday, this person asked about that specific problem, and the first solution I gave, yeah, that didn't work. It's all about recalling very specific past events. But what about just general knowledge, facts about the world? That's where semantic memory comes in. This is the AI's textbook and encyclopedia all rolled into one massive book in its backpack. It's the huge collection of facts it knows about everything. Things like the capital of France is Paris, or the boiling point of water. All the stuff it learned during its initial training.
And finally, there's procedural memory. Now, this one's a little different. It's not about what the AI knows, but how it does things. It's the how-to guide in its backpack. This memory tells it the step-by-step instructions to complete a task, like how to search a database correctly, how to use a specific tool, or the right workflow for solving a tricky problem. It's all about skills, not facts.
So let's do a super quick recap. The sticky note is for the chat that's happening right now. The file folder keeps your profile info over the long haul. The project diary remembers specific things that have happened. The textbook knows a ton of world facts. And the how-to guide knows how to get things done. See? It's just a really organized backpack. Okay, so we know what's in the backpack. But the next big question for our project is, how does the AI actually use all this stuff to seem like it's getting smarter and adapting to you? In other words, how does it really learn?
And you know what? Here's the big secret. When we say an AI learns during a conversation, it's not really learning the way you or I do. Its brain, its core programming, isn't actually changing. Instead, it's just getting ridiculously good at pulling the exact right piece of information from its backpack at the exact right moment.
The main trick it uses for this is a technique with a kind of fancy name, retrieval-augmented generation. Let's just call it RAG. Now, don't let the name scare you. Just think of it like the AI has a super fast librarian inside its head who can search through all its books and notes in a split second.
So here's how it works. First, you ask a question it doesn't already have a canned answer for. Instantly, that inner librarian scans its entire library, that huge textbook we talked about. It finds the most relevant pages, pulls out the key info, and then uses that to craft a brand new, smart answer just for you.
Now, RAG is the big one, but the AI's got a few other tricks up its sleeve. For instance, if you correct it, it'll use that info right away on its sticky note memory. It can also summarize all conversations to create little cheat sheets for itself. It definitely pays attention to your feedback, like a thumbs up or thumbs down. And it remembers which tools worked best for which jobs, thanks to that handy how-to guide.
Okay, this whole backpack analogy is great for our little project, but you might be wondering, is this how it really works in professional systems that people use every day? Well, let's ground this in the real world and take a quick look at a platform called Amazon Bedrock.
So, when developers are actually building these AI agents, they're not calling these parts sticky notes or textbooks, of course not. They use specific technical terms. But what you're about to see is that they map almost perfectly to the simple ideas we've been using.
So check this out. Our sticky note for short-term memory? In Bedrock, that's called session attributes. That permanent file folder for your profile, they handle that with prompt attributes. The giant textbook of world knowledge? Those are its knowledge bases. And that project diary of all your past chats? Well, that's just called conversation history. It's the same exact structure, just with the official names. Okay, we've looked inside the backpack, we've seen how the AI uses what's inside, and we've connected it to the real world. Now, it is time for the big reveal. We're at the single most important conclusion of our entire project. This right here is the fundamental difference between how an AI remembers and how a human brain learns. Take a second and just let that sink in. This is the whole ballgame. The AI's core brain, its neural network, is not being rewired when you talk to it. All of that amazing learning and memory that we see, it's actually a simulation. It's a trick done by using these external memory systems, everything inside its digital backpack.
So if you remember one thing, let it be this. The AI isn't fundamentally changing its mind or growing new brain cells because of your chat. It's using an extremely sophisticated, lightning-fast filing system. It's not learning, it's looking up, and it is unbelievably good at it. And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. If an AI can be this intelligent with what is, essentially, a brilliant filing system, what does that tell us about intelligence itself? Do you have to truly learn to be smart? Or is having a perfect instant memory a different, but maybe equally powerful form of thinking? Something to think about.